Hi everyone. Yeah, let me check if I'm live. Okay, it's Sunday and this is episode 89. I guess it's fun, right? But well, probably this is at the moment lah. This is so far. This is the remaining show you can actually see me live right now. Yeah, I mean, we just ended the Three Marketer show last week. It's fun, you know. It's a show that we've been doing for 100 weeks, and ending it was a very not an easy decision, but I guess it's about time to put it to stop, and eventually I'll be starting something new again. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at this thing. So yeah, I mean, if this is the first time you see me, I'm Jason. This is what we do on Sunday nights. This is Sunday in Malaysia. This is 10 p.m. in Malaysia. And I've been doing this for 89 weeks now. What we do here is I will answer your questions about Facebook advertising, digital marketing, YouTube marketing, email marketing, YouTube advertising, TikTok advertising, anything that I can cover, I will do my best to cover. For those that I can't, then I will do my best to find answers for you. So to participate, actually very easy. Either you actually post questions on any of my YouTube videos. You can actually head over to my YouTube channel, look for Jason Gan or youtube.com/Jason Gan. I have got about 800 videos over there answering a lot of questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. I would strongly recommend that you try to look for an answer first. If you can't find your answer, then you can actually just post your questions in any of the videos. All right, so and eventually what I'll do is I'll bring it over to my AMA over here on Sunday night and I'll answer your questions. Okay, the interesting part is in the past 1 week plus, I think I have not received any questions. So in that case, I probably will discuss anything I want to discuss because it's my show anyway. Okay, I think to kickstart what we do today, I really want to share about my experience completing my Three Marketer show. 100 episodes, I said, it's not an easy thing to do. Committing to do a live show once a week for 100 weeks, that's slightly shorter than 2 years. 2 years. I mean, 1 year is 52 weeks, right? 2 years, it should be about 104 weeks. But nonetheless, completing 100 episodes is not easy. So if there is any advice I would like to share with you about starting a live show, okay, I guess first thing first, if you are not comfortable to start your own, look for a partner or two. Okay, so one thing I did right was when I started this thing together with Andrew, we realized, this is something that we can't do it alone. So we looked for a partner. So eventually I had two partners. All right, I had Manfred and I had Andrew. And when you are working in a team, it's a lot easier for you to keep ourselves going. I mean, as in, like, if you are doing this alone, if you are not a very disciplined person, you'll find 1,000 reasons or 1,000 excuses to actually end it as soon as you can. Okay, but if you have a team, like I said, I mean, either one of us have had this thought of probably let's put it to a pause, or let's stop it for now and see how it goes. While wait for it while when we are more ready, then we continue going again. But because we are three of us together, and whenever either one of us have this thought of slowing down, the other two would actually keep ourselves going. So that's one thing that you can actually consider working with a team. And when you're working with a team, right, it's a lot easier for you to start the game and start the show and keep the show going. Why? Because, to be very frank, talking to the camera alone is a very, 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 very scary thing. I don't know how many times I want to say like the very, very scary thing. Like, you want to be like me that can actually come on live like this every single week alone, and doing this for like 80 over weeks now. To be frank, I was trained to do this now. I mean, I'm trained now. But prior to this, right, the first time I went on live, I was just totally clueless about what should I be doing? What should I be talking about? And what if nobody come? What if nobody watching? What if nobody respond? Well, these are all the possibilities, and these are all the things that will happen, I guarantee you. Even though now we are 89 episodes, right? We don't have a lot of people here right now in the room. But if you look back at our reviews, as in my replays and all that, a lot of people actually watch it after the show, because not everybody can come on live on that at that time. So you have to be ready to speak to the camera alone. But when you're working with a team, right, it's a lot easier. All right, so that's the first suggestion. If you can't do it alone, do it with a team. I mean, the second advice I can give to you here is don't try to come up with all the content yourself. Work with guesses. The best way to create content is actually to work with guesses. Like in the past 1 year plus, in the 100 episodes, right? I would say we have had 68 guesses that came to our show, and altogether, I think more than 80 episodes. I think about 80 episodes were shows with guesses. So when you have guests, right, it's a lot easier to talk. It's a lot easier because you're interviewing, you're not really creating content. So that's really the second thing I can actually give it to you. So don't worry about having guesses, you see. Actually, very simple. Once you have a guest, okay, the moment they completed the interview, you can always ask for recommendation. Like, for example, you can ask, hey, do you have anyone awesome to share with us or to recommend to us so that I can actually bring them to the show? Then you can actually have more and more people coming to your show. And when you work with guests, it's also something very useful to help you grow your audience in a very meaningful way, because every guest would have their own following, their friends and family, and this is a very good way for you to introduce your show to other people, which you probably wouldn't have reached on your own. Okay, so having guesses. All right, and third thing here is definitely, if you want to do a show like this, you have to be ready to go for at least 10 episodes. You see, to pull for 100 episodes is not something very easy. But what you can actually do here is you can actually plan it in a season. In season, for example, you can do 10 episodes per season. You don't need to stretch for long term, And then after 10 episodes, you just say that this is season 1. I'm going to do 10 episodes. And then once I'm done with this, then I will take a break. And that is also a very good way for you to just, plan breaks in between. And it's also a very good way for you to take a break and recalibrate and probably just come back with some improved content or something like that. Yeah, that's something that, after we actually done like 80 over episodes, when we are having a discussion at the backstage, that's one of the things that we discussed, which is, when you want to do this, you can actually probably plan to break them into seasons, and you can actually have as many seasons as you want. And let's say, for example, 10 episodes per season, if you end it like at 3 seasons or 4 seasons, which is fine, and you can always start a new show. You can just let this show retire. Just like now, we are actually letting the Three Marketer show retire, but doesn't mean that we are no longer having any new thing coming forward. So that's another thing you can do. All right. And yeah, so that's the third idea that I can have for you if you want to start your own show. And the fourth thing here is, of course, you just have to be, you just have to train your audience to whatever that you want to do. Like, for example, there will always be recommendations or comments or suggestions that says that, oh, this time is not suitable because not many people come online. It's too early. It's too late. You should do it in the morning. You should do it whatever and all that. So there will be a lot of so-called suggestions and comments or even demands coming your way. What you need to do is to learn how to stay firm on what you are going to do. Like for us, when we say 10 p.m., it's 10 p.m. And we understand that some people may not be able to join. It's okay. They can watch the replay. And sooner or later, you will have a following that would actually adjust their time to suit your time. Because just like when we are listening to any radio stations or radio shows or TV shows, well, we can't choose. It's their time, right? We just have to adjust our schedule to follow their time. So that's something that you actually can do, right? But I would say the benefit of having a live show is really, something very meaningful. First thing first, you can actually create content without creating content. That's something that I always like to tell people. You see, a lot of people, when they thought about creating content, they always think about, oh, there's so much work, and I need to plan, and I need to shoot, and I need to edit and all that. But look, in fact, a lot of content can be created without actually editing. Just like if you do live shows, you don't need to edit. You just gotta let it go. But of course, it takes a bit of practice. It could be scary at the very beginning, but here's the idea, right? You want to train yourself into a content creator that can actually do this, like, on the fly. Just anytime, just put on the camera, you'll be able to do anything. Just like on over the weekend, on Saturday itself, I just did a new training with zero planning. I was just like, just quickly put together a deck, and I went on and talked for 1.5 hours, 1 hour and a half. It was smooth, but I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't go through this crazy training in the past 2 years plus. So that trained me into a person who can actually do that. Here's the thing. Of course, you're not able to do that now, probably because you're not trained for that. But is that what you want to become? If that's what you want to become, if you want to be able to create content fast without much planning and all that, and you'll be able to just like come out and do whatever you want, that's really something that you should go through. Live shows train you like nothing else. It's the best training you can go through as a content creator, right? So that's something that I really want to highlight to you. So for everyone who wants to start a content, start creating content on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. And if you want to go for the long haul game, it's very good if you are creating content that is very searchable. That's my direction moving forward. Okay, we will be creating a lot of contents that are really searchable, and that will really help your business in a very, very powerful way. So that's something I want. And of course, when you are searchable, you also build your authority. Okay, and when people come to you, they are no longer like when people come to me right now, they no longer ask, "Oh, why should I, work with you instead of someone else?" Okay, can you tell me your portfolio? Actually, can you show me your portfolio? Can you tell me your credentials? Can you show me why? Can you show me your whatever like company background and all that? No, I don't get these kind of questions anymore. The questions that I get here is, Jason, how can I work with you? And that's that kind of situation because you already have so much content. I already have so much content up there, so many content up there that people can just consume. And when they come to me, they are ready. They are convinced, on their own and say that this is the guy that I want to work with. And I actually cut through so much crazy different kind of like discussions that can be actually quite unnecessarily and it can be quite time consuming. You know that if you are a service provider, you know that the back and forth kind of communication and asking questions and answering and all that is not something really enjoyable. And that's something that I don't do anymore because that's how you can actually build your credibility when you're able to build your authority and your credibility like this with all the content that you put up on over the internet, especially on YouTube, which is the number 2 search engine after Google, and they are owned by Google anyway. That's how I actually grow my business in the past 2 years because of all this organic traffic that came to me. When you are having that kind of positioning, you are a product that is very unique. The price that you command can never be compared to anyone else anymore because there is literally no competitor out there. I'm unique. Whatever service that I put up are actually unique to what I have because you can't find somebody else that do what I do. Okay, and there is no comparison. Just not like you're buying a phone that you can actually compare model A, model B, brand A, brand B. There is no comparison. It's just this is the Jason Gunn that has this very unique offering that I want actually him to help me in my business. You can't actually find anyone else that can be a perfect so-called substitute to what I am. So with that kind of positioning, you can command a price point that, a price that you can feel a lot more comfortable, working with any party, who comes your way. So that's something that I want you to consider. All right. So, well, this is just me sharing a little bit of tips about creating content, but nonetheless, I would say it's totally something that you should consider doing because creating content is the future, and having videos and audios out there can really help you, to be very, very searchable and can help your business in ways that you can never imagine. Okay, and of course, you train yourself to be able to talk in front of camera. Like now, I've been talking for 14 minutes. Unscripted, unplanned. It's just me coming up like that. Would you want to do that? Would you want to be able to do that? If yes, then consider. All right. Okay, I have got first question coming in. Thanks for saving me, Crystal. Else I would have to think about what to talk about for the next 15 minutes anyway. So, okay, Crystal has a question. Okay, Crystal's question is how to create a lookalike audience of a page of another advertiser. Okay, can it be done? Thanks for the question, Krista. The answer is it can't be done. Okay, so let me help you understand lookalike audience. Lookalike audience, I believe you know what is that. Which is, to create audience that looks like an audience that you already own. All right, let me repeat. Lookalike audience is an audience that look like an audience that you already own, which means it always starts with a custom audience, and custom audience is really audiences that you own. Like for example, people who visit your own website. You know, the same answer if you ask, can I create a lookalike audience of people who visit my competitor's website or any other website over the internet? The answer is no, unless you're able to place your pixel on their website, in their website, then you'll be able to create a lookalike, a custom audience based on people who visit their website. And with the custom audience, you're able to create a lookalike audience that you can use to run ads for your business. So essentially, lookalike audience must be based on an audience that you already own. Okay, but when I say already own, doesn't mean that it has to be like people who go to your website. It could be people who watch your video on Facebook or Instagram. It could be people who engage with your Facebook page or Instagram, business account. It could be people who open your lead form. It could be people who do anything that you own, be it on Facebook or Instagram or off Facebook. Like for example, if you have a mobile app, then that's something that you can also use to create lookalike audience. But the rule of thumb of creating lookalike audience is we always recommend to create lookalike audience based on a custom audience that is of high quality. So the comparison here is, for example, I would safely categorize, I'm not saying that this is, like totally applicable to everywhere else or every brands. I would say people who like your page are really, not that not that high quality in my opinion. People who like your page could be because they stumble upon you. They could be people who kind of like you once, but they're no longer into your brand or your product. Because people don't really actively like pages, or unfollow pages. Bear in mind. So there could be a lot of people liking your page, but not necessarily a lot of people consuming your content. I think you know that your organic reach is really low. So a lot of your so-called brand, your followers or your likes, people who like your page are people who are actually kind of like no longer seeing your posts, and they probably have forgotten you for a long time. So it may not be very relevant. So in comparison, I would say I want to use people who recently visit your website, okay, to create lookalike audience, meaning people who actually recently visit your website. I mean, visiting your website could be even like, I may not be that high quality. I would like to go for people who purchase if I can. If you have, strong purchase coming to your website, of course we want to use purchase, but if not, and at least go for something deeper, that carries deeper intent, such as people who add to cart, people who initiate checkout. These are higher quality audience, I would say. All right, because because when you have very low quality audience, you will create a lookalike audience that is of lower quality, and it may not necessarily bring benefit to your Facebook ads campaign. That's what I want to highlight. That's why we always go for deeper intent. And Facebook requires a custom audience of 1,000 minimum to create high quality lookalike audience. That's what we will advise. If you want to create lookalike audience, make sure you have a custom audience that is at least of 1,000 people. When I say 1,000, doesn't mean, for example, let's say if you use customer list, meaning that you have your customer data. So let's say if you have let's say 1,000 phone numbers of the customers that bought from you before, from all the platforms that you run your business. So when you actually import these 1,000 phone numbers into Facebook, you probably can only match about 600 to 700. Okay, so it may not reach 1,000 because not everybody put their phone number on Facebook. I mean, link their phone number to Facebook, but not everybody link the same phone number to Facebook. I mean, they probably have multiple numbers. So you have to bear in mind about all these so-called, like different situations that might happen when you're creating a custom audience. But what Facebook advises to do is at least have an audience of 1,000. Then the lookalike audience that is being created from this custom audience are usually of higher quality. That's the custom audience part. All right, Krista, thanks for the question. And I've actually prepared some questions. So I guess, for the remaining time, we can actually just go through some of the questions that I received a lot. This is one of the questions that I received a lot. How do we know if a Facebook ads campaign is not working? How do we know if a Facebook ads campaign is not working? So let's go through some thought process over here. All right. So For those who know me, you know I actually analyze a lot. You know, my specialty is really in analyzing the numbers to find out whether your campaign is doing good or not. A lot of people will see, you know, whenever they have a good cost per result, whether it's cost per lead, cost per purchase, and all that, when they have a good cost per result, they will say that this is a good campaign. But when the campaign is not doing well, let's say if you have a campaign that has been running well for 2 weeks and all of a sudden it stops working, then you probably would just think that, oh, because the cost per result is increasing, that means it's actually the campaign is failing and I should just kill the campaign and start afresh. That's what most people think. Here's what I think. If you think like that, you are making a decision based on your gut feeling. Because my question to you here is, say yes, you are actually killing a campaign based on the result that it recently delivered to you, which is not so good for the past few days, for example. But you can't rule out the fact that it has been performing well for for a couple of weeks earlier. Okay, it's just that it stopped working for a couple of days. Doesn't mean that the campaign is failing. Now, what I want you to do here is you have to go in and find out what went wrong. All right, and numbers won't lie. So what went wrong? So how do you know if a campaign is not working? So let's take a look at a few things. So when you have a campaign that has been working well and suddenly it stops working, first thing first, when the cost per result is increasing and the number of results coming in is failing, it's kind of like decreasing, then yes, that's a very early sign that the campaign is not working. But I want you to go deeper and analyze what went wrong. Now, the first thing first I want you to analyze is look at your CPM. Cost per thousand impression. Now, CPM is the default charging block that you are being charged when you're running ads on Facebook. So, like I say, when you're running ads on Facebook, it's as good as distributing flyers. Okay, when you distribute your flyers, whether a person take action or not, that's it. You paid for it already. All right, remember that. So when you're actually running ads on Facebook, every impression count, and the CPM actually fluctuates. That's a cost that you can't control. Yeah. CPM fluctuates ups and down based on the market condition and the competition in the market. Like for example, when we are approaching 8/8, which is the big event every month, 8/8, 9/9, 10/10, you know, a week prior to 8/8, usually you will see your CPM coming up. So when the CPM comes up, what's the logic? Say for example, if your normal CPM is $10, for example, that means if you spend $10, you are able to reach 1,000. When you spend $10, you are able to reach your audience 1,000 times, right? Now, when the CPM becomes $20, if you still spend $10, which means you're only able to reach your audience 500 times. So when your reach reduced by half, when your impressions reduced by half, of course, your result will drop. And of course, your cost will increase. So if your cost increase because of CPM going up, I would say you should not kill a campaign because it is just temporarily and it could be coming back after the crazy rush of 8/8, 9/9 and stuff like that. Now, the second metric that you want to analyze when you have whether to know whether your campaign is not working, you look at your CTR. CTR stands for click-through rate, all right? CTR, there are two sets of CTR when it comes to Facebook ads, CTR all and CTR link click. Now, CTR all stands for people who actually click on anything of your advertisement. And the CTR link click are the people who click on your call to action button or any link that you include in your ad copy. So CTR all, the benchmark is 2%, and CTR link click, the benchmark is 1%. So let's say, for example, if you have been seeing, like the CTR in decline, has been decreasing and decreasing, and that is an early sign that your creative is no longer working. So when the creative is not working, then what we need to do is we need to work on the creative instead of just kill the campaign altogether, right? You get what I mean? Here's the thing. I really think too many people make decisions based on gut feeling when you're running ads on Facebook. That's a very dangerous thing. So if you actually make decisions based on gut feeling, you can never find certainty in running Facebook ads. You'll always have to go back to the drawing board and reinventing the wheel and come up with, to you, it sounds like a different plan. It looks like a different creative, but you're just, beating around the bush. You do not know what are you doing right or wrong, isn't it? So that's a very dangerous thing. That's why a lot of advertisers can't find certainty. They always find Facebook advertising is a very tiring thing to do because they don't know how to find a stabilized campaign. That's why when you're able to really find the numbers and read the numbers and analyze the numbers to give you the data you need to make the right decision, you'll be able to actually look at the campaign in a more objective way and to be able to make the right decision. So everything starts from looking at your campaign. So if you need help, right, I'm having this, like one-on-one Facebook ads analysis, which I'm still offering at $10 on Fiverr. Okay, all you need to do is, if you run ads on Facebook and you do not know whether are you doing good or not and how to improvise your campaign, I would strongly recommend that you take advantage of this and scan this QR code and get a half an hour Facebook ads audit by me. Now, I usually charge $197 for this, but I'm offering this at $10 on Fiverr because I am actually building my Fiverr account. I want to, because this is one of my future lead gen inflow that I want to build for my business. So in order to kickstart this thing, I need some people to buy first. I need some people to leave comment and review, 5-star review first. So I'm actually offering this at 95% discount. So grab this before I increase the price, just $10, and you can have half an hour with me, and we together can go into your campaign and see what have you done right or wrong and how to do better moving forward. I'm not just going to tell you what did you do right or wrong. I will actually give you a plan and a strategy that you can do better in your Facebook ads game moving forward. Okay, scan this QR code, get the one-on-one audit with me. Okay, so that's that I want to highlight to you. Now let me come back to another question that I have from Crystal. Crystal asks, you would like to promote professional accounting program to Form 4 and Form 5. Currently, you run Facebook ads target by age and interest in accounting, but not effective. Can you advise how to go about? I would say there are many strategies, but first thing first, Crystal, I think I would like to look at your campaign first, because I wouldn't be able to just advise you anything before I look at what have you done. And from there, whether you are seeing good result or not, there must be something we can actually look at to determine the next step. All right. There are many ways. Immediately in my head, there are 4 strategies that can actually apply to your business. But then again, I have to look at what are you doing right now. Because you see, if you want to promote professional accounting program to Form 4 and Form 5 students, you have to bear in mind, okay, these Form 4 and Form 5 students don't make decision. You probably are targeting the wrong audience. You should target the parents. Have you tried that? And do you know that you can actually target parents with kids around certain age? Do you know that? But here's the thing. These are just potential strategies, right? But then again, I think what we need to do, since you have been running ads, I want to look at what have you done so that we can actually find out how do we improve from this one. All right. And yeah, Crystal, this is the link that you can actually still scan and get $10 one-on-one Facebook ads audit by me. And that's the best way for us to dive into whatever you have done. And from there, we'll be able to find numbers that help us determine the next step. Like I said, the numbers won't lie. Let's see what have you done right or wrong in your campaign. And I would actually plan for you your next step. All right, Crystal. All right, thanks for the question. And I know this is you. I saw your face come out just now. What's up, man? So this is the only day you'll be seeing me live now, all right? Do you feel nostalgic a little bit? All right. Yeah. So it's really okay lah. I have more things coming up. In fact, I'm really excited about what's to come in September onwards. We're gonna have a lot more things coming up. So stay tuned. All right. And right, Krista say you scanned the QR code already. All right, cool. Then I look forward to work with you one-on-one. Okay, let's take a look at your campaign and see what have we done right or wrong. Okay, all right, I guess this is pretty much it. And yeah, like I said, it's just me talking for half an hour. I think this is my show. This is my right? But really, here's the thing. If you want to, have your own platform to kind of like build your voice around what you do, this is actually the best place to start. Start a live show. It's actually the best way to create content. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, Krista and TY, and anyone else who is actually watching this. Thank you. And remember, next week, we're going to have this again every Sunday night at 10 p.m. If you have any questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing, post them on any of my videos on YouTube. And I'll see you same time next week at 10 p.m. And thank you so much, guys. See you next week. Bye.